somewhere in me. I want you to find new things about me. The touch of my fingers, for one. The way the tips reached for a new leaf to touch a vein. To feel something not understood and pleased that I did not. The leaf green, the edges serrated. The taste on the tip of my leaf-like tongue as I reached to taste the tree through a leaf. Feel a leaf. Feel the underside, the mostly hidden, lighter, frailer side. The map of the tree entire in a leaf. I want you to find new things about me, like my heart in its leaf-thin walls, and the way I touched a tree through a leaf when my heart was most alive. Eats in the hole. We ate beside our hole, blessing our helmet with nods of our heads in a manner like tenderness. We lit blue heat tabs and opened the sea rats and spooned ham slices, turkey loaf, boneless chicken, and cheese into the helmet. We broke open packets of salt, pepper. Butterflies flew in and out of the long tines of sunlight forking through trees. In the helmet, everything began to steam. Someone said, "Let's count our blessings." Someone else said, "Better to count the days." Someone broke the seal on a bottle of devil hot sauce and splashed some into the helmet over the flame. Inside the helmet, things steamed. "Lord God," someone whispered and looked up. We heard the distant choke and cough of a mortar tube. Down in the hole we spooned, and wrapped in each other's arms, ate the earth, the dust, pressing our bodies into each other, while above us the air filled with hungry, hot iron. Dry. Her body, so full of sense, her mind so sensual, erotic even in its sexual determination. She was determined. Her arousal was a flowing thing. Her ass had such swell, and when we fucked, when I was buried in her, she moved in such ways as made me think of rain. Of a rain-wet forest, a dense forest whose slippery leaves dripped beads of water onto other leaves, and other water dripped into the mouths of flowers that filled and ran over and along the rain-dark trunks of trees, ran on stone, ran along the furred spine, and taken on the tongue of a tiny spotted deer, ran into a rain-softened earth that smelled of silage, of her. Once on a Friday, on the phone from her office in the tower, she said, "I'm going to suck you dry." Now, her lack of being has done just that. Blue deer. A moment ago, a breath, a whisper, a hint of something. Shadow, dark stone, a wall. The blue deer seen under the tree had lifted its head sharply, sniffed. Light struck its eye. Then there was no light, and nothing except for the smell of apples, the rot and ferment, nothing except the sound of apples striking the ground. The iron stove. The stove was a big thing, black, I think, or white. iron inside and out, kerosene fueled, and Nana, who was old, late 80s old, would every morning, in that time-honored sense of routine and clockwork, walk down 2 flights to the cellar, to the kerosene drum, to fill a 10-gallon glass jug with kerosene that poured out of the drum into the jug through a tin funnel that looked like the Tin Man's hat, and kerosene spilled, swirling and running clear and sweet-smelling along the inside wall of the glass. Filled, Nana would turn the spigot off and breathe in, and taking the jug in her arms, carry it back up the stairs to the 2nd-story kitchen, where she'd heft the thing up into the side of the iron stove, and kerosene was gulped, and the fire inside erupted, and the bones of the stove ticked as the iron expanded with heat. I was little. Things poured into me and through me, filled me in. Nana poured herself into me. She poured everything in her into me. Her poverty and rich sorrows, all of what she was, all of what she lost, the expansive things that fueled her, her will, love, the steady, strong everydayness of making things, breads and quilts, things that filled the house. In the kitchen, Nana struck a diamond brand wood match on the flinted side of the box and touched the flame to a burner. As I leaned my little self to her side, and the kerosene smell wonderful, and the ring, the circle, the crown, the halo of flame burst from a burner, the blue flame steady and strong. Nana put a cast iron pan over the flame, put a fingerful of butter in, cracked a pair of eggs, dropped in the eggs, tossed the half shells into a tin pail. Here I am nearing the end of this, and I have not made enough of Nana for you, not given her the wings she had, not given her the crown of braided hair set in a circle, a ring, a halo on her head, or even said how she stood in her robe in the winter light. How do I make more of Nana? How do I fill you in? There's something in us, something about the flame we do not feel when we are nearest the source, the kin, the kindling of enormous kindness. She took me in, filled me in with what I'm filled with now. The stove of my heart is iron, warm iron. In that stove-warmed kitchen that melted the icy glaze on the imperfect window glass, Nana tipped the pan and slid the sunny eggs into a dish, turned off the burner, and the burner sounded like a breath held long and let go, and the blue flame went out. Mother in bed asleep, eyes lidded, ancient, toothless, white-haired, white-fleshed, a pair of long chin hairs sprung, and somehow she is still beautiful. Or maybe this is a dream of a memory of a boy in her arms in bed, her brown eyes wide, filled with boy. What things were found? Teeth, eye teeth, jawbone, a rib, a hand, mandible and bone. A foot was found. The insistent is of reminiscence. There was once rib, the gesture of a hand, the palm cup, a finger with ring, a line of fortune, a lifeline, a finger pointing, The hand and the unfolding fingers are a kind of flower. Teeth are a kind of flower. Her smile was, her lips were, a voice. I hear mine, hers. These things turned up. The heat must have been fierce. Can you read me? I did not fold, not completely. I crawled. I am at the eye of this. Eyes are a teeth of a kind. Eyes are a tunnel. I have a biting vision. I was in an office at Bellevue. The examiner handed me a list. He put the list in my hand. The list was written on pink paper in the palm of my hand over my lifeline. His hand was slanted. I am here at Spot Pond, staring at its rippled, winking eye. On the shore, irises are exploding. There are dragonflies. I am playing my transponder. I am a walkie-talkie, no longer a zombie. Ever since the infection, I see things differently. It is an ocular occurrence caught on a loop. I am looped, and looped to a thin inner network, going round and round. I am on the inside, working on letting go. Currently, I am captured, wired in, a satellite to this gravity. Bees are in and out of the iris cups. My eyes are cups. I am trying to hold her. I am a satellite to the remains. Telstar. The hand unringed. The cup of her hand. Mandible with teeth. Jawbone. Scalp with hair. Imagine a flower. You choose the one. Imagine a bee. To be and be on hand. To be an eyewitness is no choice. I am an eye, a storm. Witness how I twist and turn and return to the wrenching story. Can I get a witness? Imagine two massive stacks, one in a wake of smoke. There is history in a wake. I repeat, there is history in the wake. I had her on the phone. She said, you should have heard the explosion. Someone said, it is speculation to say she could have seen what was coming. You're spectacular, she said more than once. I left Bellevue. It might have been raining. Two blue walls lined the walkway, a kind of blue tunnel filled with photographs. I touched the fold of the pink paper where what was recovered was recorded in soft lead pencil. I put the paper in my pocket.
So that's 14 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Do you want to do one more? Or?
All right, one more. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fog. I don't want to imagine anything. I want you not to imagine anything with me. This is tremendously difficult, isn't it? I mean, just pecking with my index fingers the way I do on these keys opens things up. The simple tapping becomes sort of fluid. Some keys have no letters from being struck so often. This morning's fog, which was striking in its white fog brilliance, is no longer here. And that fog might have been what made me think about starting with these words and in this way, or seeing the hummingbird appear out of the fog and fly with such fluidity from red flower to red flower, or talking to my financial guy who often puts me in a fog of figures. He used the marvelous word de minimis when talking about my liquidity and losses. For some reason, I'm imagining a Roman stone arch, the kind with running water, an aqueduct, from grand snowy mountains for hundreds of miles, over fields and forests to flow into a cistern with multicolored fish swimming in it in Rome, and a boy with a rope-handled bucket. No, don't imagine a bucket. More likely it's a jug or a vase or an urn he plunges into the cistern, scaring the fish down into the dark. The boy hauls his urn of water through the streets to a public bath, and the bathers, gone in time and history, no longer in towels or togas, or buck naked and splashing in the marble bath and calling loudly, clearly for the boy, "Bring more water."
Yeah, man.